Hello science people! Today I want to talk to you about chemical energy. So in this green tank here, I have gasoline, and as we know, gasoline has a lot of energy. But what type of energy does it have? Well, it has chemical energy. Chemical energy is energy stored within its bonds. Gasoline is a hydrocarbon, so lots of hydrogens and carbons put together, and within those bonds, when they break, energy is released because it has stored energy. It has potential energy, a type of chemical energy stored inside those bonds, ready to be released when it is broken. So how did it get there? Well, most things that could be lit on fire were made by living things. Living things put their energy into the bonds of like macromolecules. And so gasoline, coal, fossil fuels of any type are usually put together by plants and algae over millions and billions of years. So it gets condensed, this plant life or algae gets condensed over millions and billions of years. And so that energy is now stored in a condensed form waiting to be released. If you think about like wood is a fresh source of natural hydrocarbons where you can light wood on fire. And so wood burns. But if you were to condense wood over millions of years, you get things like coal. And so that is what gasoline is. It is condensed living things over millions and billions of years. All right, well, luckily for us, gasoline needs what's called activation energy. If I were to pour gasoline all over this table, it won't just burst into flames. It needs to be activated. A lot of things need activation energy. Well, what type of activation energy does gasoline need? It needs a little bit of heat. And so I have that here in my hand. And so this is a lighter, and this fire will be the activation energy to let the gasoline start releasing all of its chemical energy that it has in there. And so if I go over here, I can now release all of that stored energy. And so that is a chemical energy that is stored in those bonds, and now it's being released. This lighter was just the activation energy needed in order to release that. This did not continue the fire. It is the gasoline that is continuing that fire. And so those hydrocarbons are being released. The bonds are breaking, and it is sending out that energy. And as we know from thermodynamics, that whenever you transfer energy, some is lost as heat and as light. And we can see that here. And so you can see anytime you have a fire, you can see the light and the heat that is being released. So what does this have to do with living things? We also take in chemical energy. We eat food, and that food is made out of macromolecules that have energy within the bonds. And so we have to also activate that, break those bonds, and then we can also use that energy. I hope you enjoyed this quick introduction into chemical energy. I will see you next time.